So let's be honest for a second. You want a Lamborghini. You've seen one roll past. You heard it before you saw it. And somewhere deep down, a little voice went, yeah, one day, that's mine. Maybe you even looked up the price. And here's the funny part. The number probably didn't scare you. It might have even felt doable. A couple $100,000 for the entry model. A little more for the big dog. You went, okay, pricey, but not crazy. And that right there, that's the trap. Because that number on the window sticker, the one you already made peace with, that's actually the smallest check you're gonna write. Not the biggest, the smallest. By the time you've owned this thing for 5 years, you'll have handed over close to double the sticker price. Real cash, out of your pocket. And that's before we even talk about the money you didn't make because you bought a car instead. This isn't the fantasy version. This is the receipt. Let's go. First thing, you gotta understand what you're really paying for. Because it's not a car. Not really. A normal car gets you from A to B. Done. But a Lamborghini isn't fighting for that job. It's not going up against a Honda. It's not even going up against a nice BMW. It's selling you a feeling. You're paying for insane engineering, hand-built Italian craftsmanship, a badge that screamed money since the 60s. And there's this thing economists actually have a name for. It's called positional value. Fancy term, simple idea. It's worth more just because other people can see it and know what it means. You're not buying a ride. You're buying the loudest way possible to announce, I made it. And here's the sneaky part. Lamborghini wants it that way. They make very few cars on purpose. We're talking around 10,000 a year for the whole planet. That's not them running out of factory space. That's the plan. Rare equals expensive. Scarcity isn't a bug. It's the whole business. Okay, so let's talk about the real price. Because that advertised number, nobody actually pays it. It's the starting line, not the finish. Let's say you're eyeing something with a sticker around 280. Cool. Now watch what happens. First, tax. In a state like California, vehicle tax can push past 10%. On a car like this, that's tens of thousands. Gone. Before you've driven one single foot. Then there's the destination charge. A few grand. Then dealer fees. Then registration. And just like that, you're way past the sticker, and you still haven't picked a single option. And oh boy, the options. This is where they really get you. Lamborghini's got this whole custom program. You can take a car and just pile stuff on. Special paint, carbon fiber here, carbon fiber there, fancy stitching. And these aren't small numbers. A single paint and accent package can run you the price of a fully loaded BMW. For paint, not speed, not power, paint. Here's the gut punch though. All that money you spent on options, the next owner doesn't care. When you go to sell, they'll shrug and knock the price right down. You paid full retail. You'll recover pennies. Two identical cars can sell for $100,000 apart, just because of how they were dressed up. Now, financing. Because a lot of buyers don't pay cash, they finance. And this is where people quietly make a very expensive mistake. There are these special exotic car loans. And get this, some stretch all the way out to 12 years. 12. A normal car loan is 4 to 6. Why do these exist? Simple. Because a 12-year loan makes the monthly payment sound small, easy, manageable. But stretch that payment out over 12 years, and the total is brutal. You end up paying hundreds of thousands in interest alone. Just interest. Just the fee for borrowing the money. And here's the real danger. While you're slowly paying that loan down, the car's value is dropping like a rock. Which means for the first several years, you owe more than the car is even worth. That's called being underwater. And if something goes wrong in that window, a crash, a life change, you don't just lose the car. You lose the car, and you still owe the bank a pile of cash. Ouch. Okay, depreciation. This one shocks even the smart buyers. A regular production Lambo can lose almost a fifth of its value in year one. Year one. And by year 5, it's holding on to barely half of what you paid. That's a car losing thousands of dollars a month, just sitting there, parked, not moving, bleeding money while you sleep. Now, quick truth. Not every Lambo drops the same. The common ones, the ones everybody bought in the popular colors, those fall hardest because there's tons of them for sale. But the rare, limited, track-focused special editions, those hold up way better. A few legendary ones actually go up in value. But here's the mistake everybody makes. They go, oh, some Lambos go up, so mine will too. No, the ones that appreciate were built in the dozens, not the thousands. If you walked into a showroom and bought the one sitting there, congratulations, you bought a depreciating asset, period. And then there's my favorite little twist, the mileage paradox. Every mile you drive is a mile of pure joy. And also a chunk of money gone, because miles kill resale value. So driving it costs you, but not driving it still costs you. Insurance, storage, upkeep don't care if the engine's cold. So you can drive it and lose money faster, or park it and lose money slower while having zero fun. There is no version where this car stops taking your money. None. Let's rip through the running costs. Grab a snack. Insurance. You can't just call your regular guy. You need a special exotic policy. For a mature driver with a clean record in a chill area, you're looking at a few thousand a year, and a lot more for the bigger models. But if you're young, or in a busy city, or you've got one little ding on your record, those numbers can triple. We're talking $2,000 a month just for permission to drive it, fuel, premium only, the good stuff. And these engines drink 10, maybe 11 miles a gallon if you're gentle. Drive it like it wants to be driven? Even worse. It'll cost you 4 times more to fill up than a normal commuter car, every single mile. Tires. Oh, these aren't tire shop tires. These are custom performance tires built just for the car. A full set, plus mounting, balancing, alignment, runs about $3,000. And if you drive aggressively, you could burn through them in under 2,000 miles. That's tires basically melting off the rims. Now maintenance. This is where a lot of new owners get their first real heart attack. An oil change is not $40. The engines are complicated, the oil is special, and the mechanics charge hundreds an hour. So a basic annual service runs you thousands. And it only climbs as the car ages. The big multi-year services can hit 5, 6, 7 grand easy. And skipping it? Not an option. Because when you sell, every buyer digs through the service history. Missing paperwork means a lower price. So you're basically forced to pay up just to protect the resale. But that's the predictable stuff. Here's where it gets scary. Those fancy carbon ceramic brakes? When they wear out, a full brake job, rotors, pads, labor, can cost over $30,000. 30 grand. For brakes, that's a brand new sedan, stopping your other car. And it gets worse. A transmission rebuild? Tens of thousands. On the new hybrid models, a battery replacement could run you 40, 50, 60 grand. And these aren't freak accidents. They're just what happens when you run high-performance parts hard over time. Alright, now the invisible stuff. The costs that never show up on any spreadsheet, and honestly might be the biggest ones. Number 1, opportunity cost. This is the big one. If you drop, say, $450 on a Lambo in cash, that money is now frozen, sitting in a garage, shrinking. But if you'd put that same money in a boring index fund at a normal long-term return, over 5 years, it could have grown by a couple $100,000. Nobody stole that money from you. You just gave it up, quietly, by choosing a car that shrinks over an investment that grows. Number 2, the attention tax. Driving this thing isn't driving, it's performing. People stop on sidewalks. They film you at red lights. They walk up in parking lots. You can't run a quick errand without becoming an event. And it's not all friendly. Striking cars attract dings, leaning, cameras, and a whole lot of extra eyes from traffic cops. You lose the ability to just go somewhere, quietly. Number 3, the hedonic treadmill. Fancy name, super real thing. The first drive, magic. The 10th drive, still awesome. The 50th, it's just a drive. Your brain gets used to it. That's just how we're wired. So the thrill fades over time, but the bills, those stay at full price, forever. So here's the real question. Who can actually own one of these without sweating? Because being able to buy it and being able to own it comfortably are two totally different worlds. Wealth advisors have a couple of simple rules. Rule 1. The car should cost no more than about 5% of your liquid net worth. Liquid. Cash you can actually touch. Not your house, not your business. So a $300,000 Lambo? That really means you should have a few million just sitting in reach. Rule 2. The yearly running costs should be a tiny slice of your spare cash flow, not your rent money, your leftover money. Hit both of those? Then honestly, go for it. A 30 grand repair is just annoying, not scary. That's what it looks like to buy luxury with surplus wealth, instead of future wealth. Okay, let's add it all up. The whole thing. You buy a Lambo with a sticker around $280. Add taxes, fees, options, registration, and you're driving off closer to $335. Now let 5 years roll by. Loan interest, insurance, maintenance, tires and fuel, storage and registration. Stack it all together, and you've poured out close to $500,000. Yes, you get some back when you sell, roughly half the original price. But after you subtract that, your real, net, out-of-pocket cost is still well over 300 grand on a car that started at $280. And then add the invisible one, the money that investment would have made you. Toss that in, and the true cost of owning this car for 5 years lands at almost 1.75 times the window sticker. So that number on the glass? It was always the least interesting number in the whole deal. And that's the real lesson hiding in every Lamborghini. It's not transportation. It's a consumption decision, a huge one, wrapped in carbon fiber and stamped with a raging bull. There's depreciation you don't see, interest you forget to count, costs you never planned for, and that invisible opportunity cost quietly humming in the background. Now, does any of this mean you should never buy one? Nope, not at all. If the price is a tiny fraction of your net worth, if the yearly costs come out of spare cash, if your future's already locked in, then buying a Lamborghini is a totally rational, beautiful thing. You're buying joy, sound, that naturally aspirated engine screaming up a mountain road at sunrise. That stuff is real, and it's worth it. But if you're stretching, financing to the max, praying depreciation goes easy on you, betting it'll magically appreciate, then you're not buying the Lamborghini dream, friend. You're just buying financial pressure with a gorgeous paint job. The window sticker is the least interesting number. Now you know all the ones that actually matter. If this gave you a clearer picture of how luxury money really works, do me a favor, smash that like button and subscribe. It genuinely helps us keep making stuff like this. Catch you in the next one.